Hello friends, thank you very much for liking and sharing my earlier videos. So today we'll talk about the important part of core tool as per AIAG manual. The important part of core tool, the first important is APQP. We'll talk about this tool today, which is nothing, it's a advanced product quality planning. What is APQP? APQP is a tool basically when order has been given by a customer to an organization to start development on new project. So organization need to start planning how we are going to execute this project, how we are going to complete this project within the time frame which is given by an OEM manufacturer. Generally, OEM manufacturer has a deadline or a target date for launching of the vehicle. So all APQP activities is generally being drilled down backward calculation, and every supplier has to come up with a plan so that the ultimate vehicle launching date can be met. If you look at it, the automotive industry challenges why this tool is very effective and why industry wants it. Like, it's a very innovative and complex method when they have to launch the vehicle, and the APQP is a tool which helps us to reduce the overall new product development cycle time, because the launching date of vehicle is fixed and it cannot be changed. So APQP tool help us to do the backward calculation for industries, and it's a very good tool which is generally used by big automotive organization across the world like Chrysler, General Motor, Ford, Nissan, any kind of automotive. Earlier it was an automotive tool, but seeking the advantage and help it is going to give to the organization. Now almost all kind of industries start following the APQP tools, and it is giving the advantage so that it is a safe launch of your product with the right quantity, right quality, and the right number on the right date. So that is the advantage of APQP process. We'll talk about more on advanced product quality planning tool in more detail now. Like it is a tool which help us to understand the complete cycle of the development, and when we talk about the advanced product quality planning, it is a live document, and the start of advanced product quality planning with the LOI, letter of intent, means a OEM manufacturer, OEM customer want to start the development, so he will give a LOI. LOI is nothing, it is a letter of intent. Means OEM wants to start the development. So that is the starting point of APQP and the end point. Okay, in between different phases were there, and end point of APQP would be like run at rate. Okay, so whenever any vehicle launch is being done, the planning is being done by the OEM manufacturer or OEM customer, and they project, okay, after 3 years the final rate of production would be, let us say, 5,000 per month. So till the time OEM reach to this level of a projected volume which is called run at rate, the APQP file will be a live document, so everything related to that project will go into the APQP file. So starting point of APQP is letter of intent, and end point of closure of the APQP file will be when we reach at the run at rate, required run at rate at the total production volume which is given at the time of launch by the OEM. And why the purpose of APQP? What is the purpose of APQP? The purpose of APQP is basically it helps us to reduce the total development cycle time. It helps us to make the safe launch of the product as per the required capacity, and it increases the reliability and durability of the total development cycle. That is the advantage, that is the purpose of APQP. If we talk about APQP in detail, there are 5 phases of APQP. Okay, 5 phases of APQP. We'll talk more about on that. So total there are 5 phases. Phase number 1, it's a defining the program. Okay, it is a defining the program, or we can say it is a planning. planning of the program. Phase 2 of APQP is the product development. Phase 3 of APQP is the process development, and phase 4 is a product and process validation. And phase 5 is a feedback. So these are the 5 phases of APQP process complete. So we'll discuss one by one what needs to be done in planning phase, what needs to be done in the product phase, product development phase, what needs to be done in the process development, and what needs to be done in the product and process validation phase, and how we need to take about the feedback and correct the process back. So we'll discuss more about now the first phase, which is nothing, it's a planning phase. Okay, what to be done in the planning phase, we'll talk more about that. So, in planning phase, basically when we got the letter of intent, we need to start with the team feasibility. And to do a team feasibility, first we need to originate a team. The team can be consist of your production, design, manufacturing engineering, you can have process engineering, or you can have your supplier development team. So these are the part of the team. So first phase is that under the team feasibility, we have to create a team who are going to be part of this project. And when we talk about the team, there will be a team leader and team member, which I had explained what are the different functions can be a part of our team member. Now the role of team member and role of team leader is different. Role of team leader, he is the overall leader of the complete project, and he has to monitor the complete project from starting point till the end of APQP, means till the time we reach at the run at rate. Okay. So the team leader define the role of team member, distribute the work to the team member, and monitor the complete project plan. So the first activity under the planning is define the team for the project. The second activity under the planning is make a project plan. Okay. Number 3, after defining the team, making the project plan, number 3 activity is review the project plan at a defined frequency. Sometimes it is called the gate review, GR1, GR2, GR3, different gate review at the different phases of the complete APQP plan implementation. These are called the gate review. Okay. Another is develop the review or control step, which is called the gate control step. So these are the gate control step needs to be developed by the team leader during the planning phase. And another is a training required over a period of time for the different team member. So these are the 5 step or 5 activity we done at the preparation for the APQP. Okay. and it is all include like we need to visit the customer, understand the product development, understand the product application. Okay, and if we can do some benchmark study, those also can be done, and how my product reliability will be there, how product maintainability will be there. So all these aspects are done under the planning phase of the APQP. So this is the phase 1, which is called the planning phase. Now we'll talk about the product development and design. The phase 2 is a product design and development. So once our product planning is being done, the second phase is the product development phase. So we'll talk about the product development phase. What are the input to the design team get from the customer during the product design and development phase? Number 1, all the design gates. Okay. Number 2, product design. In case of it is only development project. If it is a new product, then it is a specification given by the customer. Okay, then we have a kind of preliminary bill of material, a broader aspect. Okay, then will be like special. So under the product design phase, like first the input will got from the customer is the design gates, then product design specification, then preliminary BOM and special product characteristics if it is any. Then there could be a product assurance plan, which is nothing, which is called a quality plan. So these are the input when we start designing of the product and start developing of the project. These are the some input we got it from the customer. Okay, and like it is all depend upon the volume of the part, delivery of the parts, quantity, whenever it is required, the criticality of the part. So product design phase started, and these were the input. Now what will be the output of product design phase? So output of the product design phase will be like very important is first is DFME, design failure mode and effect analysis. Then we have a complete bill of material, C2Q, which is nothing, which is a special characteristics to be inspected. Prototype building, building plan, then prototype control plan, okay, and then we have any like tool requirement, okay, raw material requirement, okay, then maybe like we need drawing. These are the output, drawing, then specification of child part. So these are the some of the output after giving input in the product design development phase. We'll get this design and development output. Okay, after we are getting the design and development output from the design department, our product design is ready. Now the third phase of our APQP is process design and development. So basically, if you remember, whatever the output of design, will become input to the process design. Okay, so what are the input here? I will write it here, like when you remember that we discussed about in output. One is DFMEA, product drawing, specification, critical or special characteristics, okay, product special characteristics. What could be like other characteristics which is required, like CTQ. So these are the some of the input we got at the time of process design and development. So now based on this input, the manufacturing engineering team role come into the picture. They will start understanding about the design failure mode, the drawing requirements, special characteristics, critical characteristics, and critical to quality characteristics. So the manufacturing engineering team will start designing the process, how this product is going to be made, which kind of the different processes, whether it has to be passed through, let's say in case of a casting, whether it needs to go through the sand casting, it has to go through the die casting, it has to go through the high pressure die casting, or it has to go through a centrifugal die casting. So processing team design based on the product design, how the manufacturing process would be looks like, okay, and based on the other specification of the raw material, specification of the product, critical characteristics requirement. So whole manufacturing process will be designed based on the process input given from the product design. Now what will be the output of the process design? Number one important is the manufacturing process. Suppose if it is a casting component, as I mentioned, it is through the sand casting, pressure die casting, it could be gravity die casting, XYZ. Okay, if it is a machining process, how I have to machine it? Do I need to have CNC? Do I need to have vertical milling center? Do I need to have a horizontal milling center? Or do I need to have a turn mill? So basically what kind of a equipment I am going to have to make this product? So that is a part of manufacturing process. Now I need to design as an output is the manufacturing fixture. What kind of a manufacturing fixture is required? What kind of a measurement technique or gauges, plan, instrument, okay, then material handling design, then packing design, how I am going to handle this project, how I am going to pack this project, okay, then my control plan, my PFMEA, very important document of process design is a PFMEA, okay, then I have to talk about the measurement system analysis. So these are the some of the output will come as a process design and development, which is totally based on the design input from the product design and development parts, and these are the output for the product design and development. Now we, as soon as we had complete the phase 3, the phase 4 will start. So till that time I had designed the process, I had designed the product, so my groundwork is already ready, so my planning part is ready, my design is ready, everything is on paper, right, and the manufacturing process will be start to develop the prototype sample. Okay, so now in phase 4, phase 4 is nothing, it's a product design and process validation. Product design and process design validation. So once we design the product based on our drawing board, we have designed the manufacturing process based on the design input. So now we have to talk about the validation. Okay, what we are going to validate in this product and process design validation. What will be the input? The input will be nothing. Input will be from the product design and process design input. Like important part is PFD. Number 2 will be PFMEA, my DFMEA. Okay. So layout of the equipment. Okay. Then I can have a characteristics matrix which is called CTQ matrix. Then I have a control plan which comes from my DFMEA and PFMEA. Like another could be my initial process capability analysis. Okay. Measurement system analysis. Okay. Then another could be my like specific packaging, material handling and packing specification. So once we'll make a complete prototype development based on this input. After making the prototype development, okay, we'll check all the specification required based on the product characteristics, based on the process characteristics, and we'll start launching the PPAP. Okay. Once our product is validated, once our process is validated, so we'll start probably at the PPAP. What is PPAP? PPAP is basically a complete trial production based on all input from phase 3, phase 2. So we'll start a run production, and during PPAP run we'll do the production testing, process parameter finalization. Okay. And we'll do the material handling valuation, okay, and we'll do the packaging specification validation. So whatever we had designed here, we need to see based on this PFD, based on this layout, critical characteristic testing plan, initial process capability, are we going to get my complete requirement as per the input which is supposed to be, like am I getting the production output which is required, am I getting like my production is as per the test requirement, am I meeting the specification, does my process parameter are as per the input which is given, does my metal handling system is working as per fine as we design in the process design phases. Friends, now we'll talk about the fifth phase of APQP. Fifth phase of APQ is feedback, improvement and corrective action. Okay. Based on the phase 4, when we validated our product and process, the different output one will be our characteristics study, which is called preliminary characteristic of the study, right? Then we have a PPAP approval, which I told you in the phase 4, we do the run rate. Okay, then we talk about the variation or validation, variation in the process, and then product validation like product testing. Okay, then we talk about our production control plan. So all these are the input which are nothing, which are the output of my phase 4, and based on this input we look at the feedback, we look for the improvement, and we look for the corrective action into the process and production. So what will be my different output of the phase 4 is nothing are like reduction in the process variation, okay, reduction in product characteristic variation, okay, and what one can be like increase delivery rate, and another could be like improvement or reduction in cycle time, right? When we have another elimination and reduction in the waste, increase in the return on investment. So these are the output of my phase 5, where we are talking about the process improvement, product improvement, reduction in the variations, increase in the delivery, okay, and effective use of the resources which are available. So here we are completing the phase 5 of my advanced product quality planning, and after the complete phase we close the APQP process and we start running with the serial production. And another important point of phase 5 are TGW and TGR. Nothing, these are the learning of a complete APQP projects. TGW is things gone wrong, and TGR is things gone right. So whatever the things gone right, we need to just copy paste and use in the next project. So these are the learning which we can implement directly into the next project. What are the things gone wrong? We need to prepare an action plan and corrective action, whatever we have taken to eliminate those wrong things, so that whenever we put to the next project, these things gone wrong should not be repeated. Next project we need to take care, and things gone wrong should not be repeated. So this is the way we can follow the complete PDCA cycle. Phase 1 is the planning, PDCA cycle, planning part. Phase 2 and phase 3 is nothing, it is our do part of PDCA cycle. Phase 4, where we do the validation of the process and product design, is check part, and phase 5 is the act part. So this is the way this PDCA cycle works in APQP. Okay, PDCA. Here is the phase 1, or we can say first phase of APQP. Phase 2 and 3 are part of do. Phase 4 is a part of check, and phase 5 is a part of act. So this is the way our PDCA cycle works in APQP planning. So that's all about APQP process. I hope you enjoy and like this process. If you have any questions, any clarification, please ask the question by writing in the comments. I will be happy to clear your doubts and give clarification on the question. So please like, subscribe and share my videos. Thank you very much, and wait for the next video. And please press the bell button so that whenever new video come, you will get a notification.